found someone on YouTube I like a lot. And I'm not talking about like RM Brown or some more news or Hassan Parker or Tad Stormer or I'm trying to think. That I like that historian lady, Heather Richardson. Uh, who else? I know there's more people. The Majority Report, of course. Love me a little Sam. Um, and Emma. But no, that's all tempered. Let's just have some fun with the news. That's all tempered YouTube channels. I found a dude who's more my speed, who says it like you want to hear it. His name's Chris Valenti, and he does Valenti videos. I shared, if you've hit subscribe and the notification bell, I shared old Valenti videos. I don't know why, but every time I say Valenti videos, I think it's like a VHS movie rental store. Valenti Videos, right next to the Hollywood Video, across from Blockbuster. Every time I talk about Valenti Videos, which I don't often, I just discovered him. But he was shooting a video that was about my speed. What he was speaking, I was picking up. What he was laying down, I was picking up. I really like this Chris Valenti character, and he's a huge YouTuber. I mean, we're talking 100,000, million, D, quadrillion, you know, uh, subscribers. He's probably got kabillions, and nobody talks about the wealth inequality on YouTube here. Mr. Beast hogging all subscribers, doing the same video again and again. Mr. Beast's brain is broken on repeat. But Valenti Videos, who reminds me of just the name, not his channel, but his name reminds me of like a Blockbuster Hollywood Video competitor, which I would have shopped at. Clearly, if Valenti Videos wasn't just a YouTube channel and it was like a movie rental place back in the day, I would have went there because they probably would have had a better selection. It was a locally owned. Nothing against Blockbuster, but even back then, I was trying to support the little guys. And they weren't always sold out of your favorite new release on Friday night. But Valenti Videos, I'm gonna play some of them for you because I want you to hear the dude's a dragon. He spits fire. The guy is my niche. Would you call it a niche or a niche or a niece? Hello, Frank Morgan and Vessel Abdullahi. Hello. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. I bring you the news every weekday. I mostly take weekends off. I'm very tired today, but I'm here with you. I would say what really inspired me to be here with you is Valenti Videos, because this guy is just boom, 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 boom. He is, if there was an old spaghetti western, he'd be the last man standing. That's who Chris Valenti is. Now, again, I don't know too much about him. I seen one 1 minute video that I'm gonna play for you, and I said, this is my kind of company. How do I keep company with this cat? And then I started watching some of his live streams, and I really liked what he had to say. And I think we need more of this voice, this perspective here on YouTube. Do you think of words or pictures or voice? I don't know. It depends what I'm thinking of. If you told me to picture a sound, it'd probably be a voice. If you told me to remember a word, it'd probably be a picture. Valenti Videos is too performative. Really interesting, says the guy who left a comment saying, everybody's leaving New York. You know how President Trump promised to lower egg prices? They elected a mayor who wants to do that. And this, I'm pretty sure, by the fat avatar. Is it a fat avatar? I don't know. A chungus in your avatar? I can't really tell. Yeah, I can't tell what your avatar is. But I recognize the chungus in there. And this guy's claiming everybody's abandoning New York. I love it. I love how everybody's leaving New York because he promised to lower egg prices, but everybody elected a guy who promised to lower egg prices. It's funny. It's a funny conundrum of stupidity. Speaking of, real quick, if we're gonna hold on, is this it? Oh look. So the 1 to 25,000 bad apples in NYPD are self-deporting. What a great way to weed out the most prejudiced assholes. Congratulations, NYC. Again, this is more of the fear-mongering. Spoke to at least 6 NYPD officers, and they told me that many of the rank and file have already started putting their early retirement papers and actively looking for departments in North Carolina, Tennessee, or Florida. Funny, you know? This guy promises to lower egg prices, and they're like, I'm leaving. Okay, see you later. Go enjoy your Republican-led, go enjoy Florida when they have a disaster. What is this channel about? Night Ninja. It's not about chess. If I got bad eyes, man. If those are chess pieces on your avatar. This channel, this channel is about singing. I teach you how to sing. From the diaphragm or from your pelvic injury. That's where we sing from. But the song we sing is what's important. We sing about the news. We sing songs, satirical satire about the news because the news is a joke. Did you know that? The news is a joke. You're being propagandized 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, especially by your phone and by these multi-billion-dollar media outlet conglomerates that keep trying to merge and then praise fealty or pledge fealty to their King Lord Donald Orange Rouge, Jeffrey Epstein's best friend Trump, and they go, here's $16 million, my lord. Please let this merger go through so we can be richer and wealthier and buy up all of the smaller little stations, and they will all hail you too, my lord. That's the song we sing. That's the song we sing. And we sing it for the audience is key. If you're going to learn how to sing and you're going to sing a specific song, it's about the audience. It's for the working people. It's for the people who worried about price of egg. It's people who are stressed about health insurance, SNAP, groceries. I heard that's an old-timey word. Really? I fucking say it every week when I go to the grocery store. That's how out of touch this bubble bastard is. So that's what the song we sing is about and who it's for. Now, if you picked up on some of the sarcasm, I don't teach you to sing. If you were just here thinking I was your vocal coach, you are fucked, because I'm not a vocal coach. I could do that on the side. You're not going to get good, but we could come up with some creative songs. But I talk about the news, okay? Waffle Jackson. Funny that they think Trump was Epstein's best friend. I know, it's hilarious, right? How could they think a thing that's real? There's more pictures of Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein than there are of me and my grandmother. You understand that, son? You understand me, you pedo protector? You understand me, boy? And then we deal with the propagandists in the chat, like old Waffle, who's like, I'm talking about the high taxes. I think he said that. Mamdani, just so if everybody wants to know, Mamdani said he was going to do a 2% tax on the wealthy. 2% tax on the wealthy. And we have one class trader who's fear-mongering for him, saying, everybody's leaving, my Christ. Guy promised to lower egg prices and give you a free bus drive while taxing the wealthy. Well, personally, I say, if the wealthy can't afford a tax, they're living outside of their means. But here's the great thing that a lot of people don't know. I can tell that dumb Waffle doesn't know. Here in Massachusetts, we did a 4% tax on the wealthy. We called it a millionaire's tax. It was a 4%. It's double what Mamdani wants to do in New York. Do you know that? Massachusetts already did what the new elect mayor of New York City wants to do, but we did it double what he wants to do. And guess what? None of the millionaires left. No kid has school debt lunch or school lunch debt. There's no debt at school anymore. Every kid who goes to school in Massachusetts gets free breakfast, free lunch. There's no more debt. The millionaires didn't leave. And best of all, if you want to get a bachelor's degree, you can get it for free, paid for by millionaires and billionaires at your local community college. So this fear-mongering of all the wealthy people are going to leave, they're not. In fact, our millionaire population in Massachusetts grew 38% after we did a double wealth tax than Mamdani did. So most people don't know that, and this is why I say who Night Wizard or something, I forget your name, but he asked what we talk about. I try to inform you on shit that the lamestream media isn't going to tell you. Nobody said that Massachusetts already pulled off this wealth tax and double what New York City claims they want to do. We did it double and no millionaires left. Really, you're going to leave the economic capital of the world because of a fucking 2% tax? What kind of snowflake are you? What kind of rich person are you? 2% tax is going to send you to the poorhouse? What babies? We did it in Massachusetts and they all promised to leave. All the billionaires were like, we're going to leave town. And you know what the poor people said? We said, good, get the fuck out. We are tired of you renting your 40 houses on Cape Cod through Airbnb. Leave. Get the fuck out of here. If we could only get them to leave. And guess what? It was a lie. We called their bluff. I wish it wasn't a bluff. I wish they all fucking fled. Go to New Hampshire. Live free or die my ass. Try smoking cannabis in New Hampshire. You ain't gonna live free. But it's amazing that you see class traders in here saying, oh, all the rich people are going to leave. Shut up. I bet you're not even from New York. Guy who keeps defending rich people in New York. But the thing is it's all propaganda. It's all meant to make you believe something's bigger than it is. Something's real that isn't. It's like Ben Shapiro. He always goes, I treasure my facts over feelings. And then every fucking situation he goes into, he goes, let's say, which is another word for let's make believe. He only deals in feelings and hypotheticals. So what I'm here to tell you is Massachusetts, we already did our socialist millionaires tax and it worked. It worked for the working people. No kid goes hungry at school anymore. That's amazing. Every American can celebrate that. Every American that isn't an asshat and wants kids to go hungry can celebrate. No kid is going hungry at school in Massachusetts. You know how hard it is as a child to be hungry and then have to learn? It's very tough. So we solved that problem by taxing millionaires. 4%, double what they want to in New York. So there you go, Night Wizard and that waffle loser who's a class trader, just to, set the bar. But I got stuff to talk about. I can't prove all you nerds in the chat wrong all day. I mean, I could, but what kind of show would that be? We're going to, where is it? Here we go. This is the energy we need. I found this dude, Valenti Videos. Do you know about him? Does anybody know about him? Anybody know about Valenti Videos? And for you guys that are very scared of socialism or very scared of people that work for a living not suffering, this channel is going to make you need a safe space. I know some of you do. You guys are all freaking out. You guys are all like, what are my overlords going to do if they can't oppress us? You guys are not going to like my channel, so keep going. Go over to Matt Walsh. I'm sure he'll tell you which M&M's trying to read a book to your gay kids and turn your dog dry or whatever. I'm sure there's some culture war stuff. What penguin which, what were they called? The Bippity Boppities? The Oomba Goombas? Remember on the BBC? Teletubbies, that's what they were called. Remember everybody was scared that Teletubbies, one was like a secret in the closet Teletubby, and people freaked out. And it was like, oh yeah, I forgot that matters in life. That's totally an important thing. So for you guys that are all softies, can't stand when the oligarchs are under attack with a 4% wealth tax. Oh my God, you can't stand when Mamdani promises to lower egg prices, right? The new New York City mayor promised to lower egg prices. That is the worst thing in the world. But if Trump, a white old guy who wears makeup, does it, then it's good. I can't figure you guys out. But again, this channel ain't for you. So go on. We're going to listen to some Valenti vid because this is, what is it? This is the energy we need. I found this on Reddit. This exposed me to Valenti Videos. Chris Valenti, I believe is his name. And Chris, if you're out there, amazing work. I don't know what to say. Words can hardly encompass how much I love your content. And it's just good to see another creator who is taking such a hard line stance against people who are protecting Donald Trump, who is a PDF file. He is best friends with Epstein. He won't release the list because it's worse than you would ever imagine. And he's starving people. Not only has he never given us his concepts of a healthcare plan, turns out those were to kick everybody off, but now he's fighting in court to not allow his own citizens to eat. So, absolute rubbish of a human being. No one should worship him. Some of you do, which is weird. But it's good to see another YouTuber taking a hard line on this, like I myself do, because you will be found once this regime collapses. Because remember, he's like 80 years old. Dude was falling asleep in the Oval Office, old dozy dementia Don. I think he has ADH dementia, but again, consult your local physician if you can even afford to see one. You know, you got to be wealthy to see a doctor. But I want to play some of this for you. So, trigger warning for all you Republitards or whatever you call yourselves, for all you, pedo pan supporters, all you Epstein supporters. Fair warning, this guy don't like you. And I'm on his team.
Hey, are you dirty MAGA fuck starting to realize that you've been the screaming minority, not the silent majority?
I try to teach people that here too. They are the screaming minority. That means they are such a small percentage of the population who can still support Donald Trump even after we're well aware of him being in the Epstein files. Like, he wrote the dude a fucking poem for his birthday. Have you ever had a friend, a close friend, a family member that you wrote a poem for? And that's how close Don was with old, pedo Island Epstein. But I try to teach people this too. That it might feel like everything, is MAGA. Well, that's because all MAGA's friends, all the billionaires you saw at his inauguration that, pledged fealty with money to him, they own the websites you're on, the social media you're on, the TVs that you watch, the apps that you use, the radio that you listen to. So if it feels like you're being bombarded and like a crazy person, like, why are they trying to get this message through to my skull? It's because they own everything. Here they don't. I have no advertisers. I'm supported by you. If you'd like to support me, go ahead. If you want to hit subscribe, go ahead. This is how, we make this work. But I'm here for the people. I was doing this when there were no people in the live, and I'll still do this when there's 1 million people in the live. You hear that, Mr. Beast? I'm coming for your title, you and your lazy fucking grift of a YouTube channel. Oh, let's survive somewhere for another 7 days. Oh, let's give someone $5 million if they'll kill their dog. Like, whatever the fuck you're talking about, dude. You're lazy. But I love this Valenti guy.
Are you starting to realize that the socialist victory in New York City is just the beginning, and we're coming for the fucking Oval Office? This goes out to the Democrat Party, too. You're either going to bend the knee and accept socialism, or you're going to get fucking trampled on in every single election. This is the people's fucking movement. We make the goddamn rules. You fucking work for us.
And that's true. Just so you know, when he says you work for us, some of you guys have forgotten, or some of you guys are too young to know, that when people are elected to office, it's called public service. They're in service of the public. We vote for them so they can go and represent us. They're supposed to be doing our work. We are the president's boss. If you didn't know, we actually pay him. That's how he gets paid. It's not from, CBS or Larry Ellison or whatever fucking merger's happening right now. No, we pay that orange makeup wearing turd that does gender affirming makeup every day so he can fall asleep at the Oval Office. He works for us. Some of you guys forgot that. And some of you young people, you didn't know that. You didn't know. So now you know. And learning is half the battle, right? Isn't that what G.I. Joe taught us? Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. All right, again, this is Valenti Videos. Big shout out to Chris Valenti. I love you, bro. We've never met, but this is the energy we need. This is the movement that is happening. So when he says you work for us, they do, technically. I know some of you forgot that and some of you act like they don't, but they do.
All all of you inbred hicks that support Donald Trump and his fascist regime, I hope you know you're going to have to pretend that you never supported it in the first place. Because when we get the Oval, we are reversing every single thing that Donald Trump did. We are rounding up every single ICE agent and putting them on a tribunal.
Oh, if you're a subscriber here and you've hit the notification bell, you've heard me say that. You know, we know who ICE is, we're filming them, and there will be tribunals. Get ready. We've had them before, we'll do it again.
85% or more of you dirty fucking mask Gestapo deputized white supremacist Proud Boy Nazi fucks is gonna spend the rest of your days in a goddamn prison labor camp. We're gonna milk you for fucking work, bitch. And you're gonna bite the bullet, you're gonna smell the fucking roses, and all of you red hat wearing, plankton bucket hat wearing motherfuckers are gonna have to cope, mold, and seethe. Because woke Sharia is here.
He just said woke Sharia is here. If that isn't one of the funniest phrases I've heard in a week, I don't know what is. Chris Valenti and Valenti Videos on YouTube is kind of my fucking hero. He just called it woke Sharia, and you might hear that from me from now on.
Bitch, we don't give a fuck about your opinions. You have proven to the entire public that your opinions, your takes, your wants are bad for society, and they will be ignored. Not only will they be ignored, we will be taking everything you want and getting the fucking inverse. You dumb motherfuckers. You think this is a Christian nation? This is a secular nation, bitch. You bitch and moan about, oh, Zoran Mamdani's gonna bring Sharia law to New York City. You want Christian Sharia, you're white boy jihadists. Demand...
Y'all-Qaeda. You can use that. They're called Y'all-Qaeda.
Fucking Christian theocratic fascism. You are everything that you accuse the fucking left of being. You're domestic terrorists.
I don't know if anyone knows Chris Valenti from Valenti Videos. That's what you were just hearing. Just fucking hug that dude. If you know him, give him a hug. Tell him he's the leader not only we need, but we want, and he's a treasure. He is an American treasure, because that's the most American thing I've heard in decades. Standing up to all this bullshit, speaking your mind, dissenting, and doing it for the good of the people. You know, that's America right there. So, I don't know if anybody has heard Valenti Videos before, but guy is based AF. Yep, Y'all-Qaeda. Y'all-Qaeda. And, you know, that's what I was saying. We're seeing fascism right now with this regime, right? We listened to Steve Bannon yesterday, or Friday, say, hey, guys, if we don't win the midterm elections, we're going to prison, including me. That's Steve Bannon. His whole pitch for the midterm elections is if they get in power, the illegal stuff we're doing they're gonna hold us accountable and send us to prison. Now, Steve Bannon, I would trust his understanding of going to prison. I believe he's been before. But these fascists are doing this so a few tiny people can get uber wealthy, you know? And that's what we're going to talk about. Donald Trump had another party this weekend, and then immediately after the party, you know, tweeted, hey, I promise everybody's going to get $2,000 checks. Like, I think he even has some understanding, like, this isn't looking good. I'm throwing lavish parties every weekend with probably, you know, they're probably serving like rare blue lobster, you know, some crazy dishes. And people are getting livid because there's people starving in America. Meanwhile, he's going to court to fight being able to pay SNAP so people can eat. So while this fascism is happening, I've been saying this on my channel, the leftists are fascism, which really isn't fascism, because what I say is when we get in power, we're going to make you have free ambulance rides whether you like it or not. If your papa ever has to call an ambulance because he's having a heart attack, he'll never consider calling an Uber. He'll understand he won't go into debt calling an ambulance. And that's what we want. I would assume if I told that to Valenti from Valenti Videos, he would agree with me. You know, we're never going to allow some CEO to utilize AI to deny your doctor's claim for you to get health care. We're going to ensure that your healthcare is paid for by billionaires' taxes. And don't worry, Elon Musk is about to be a trillionaire, so he can afford it. You know what I mean? Like, I know they put 2 trillion on the debt since Donald Trump took office. They added 2 trillion to the debt, right? One small guy on YouTube right here, not even 10,000 subscribers yet, but you can change that. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. Once we get to 10,000, I'll unveil more of my master plans. But one guy on YouTube, I found $500 billion for the government. All we got to do is tax one illegal immigrant, Elon Musk. Right now, he has $500 billion, right? So if we tax him at $499 billion and we just leave him with 999,999,000, it's a big number. If we just leave him with just under 1 billion, he'll still be able to afford rent and food and egg. Guess what? I found the government $500 billion. That's a quarter of what they've already spent. And has your life gotten better with that much debt? Are they making your roads safer? They're making your streets better? They're making your egg cheaper? No. They're taking on debt for themselves, for the rich that they're cutting taxes for. So I've already solved the debt crisis. And that was only one illegal immigrant billionaire. If we just tax Elon Musk at 100%, everything over $999 million from $1 billion up, guess what? I found us $500 billion. I'm solving the fucking crisis. And nobody's coming to me. CBS doesn't want to interview me. And that's only one billionaire. Imagine if we did all of them. We'd have a surplus. So all you economists, you should be cheering me on right now. Okay, we got to talk about some stuff. But before we do, we played Valenti videos. Love Valenti videos. Does anybody know Valenti videos? Go Zoran. You don't mess with the Zoran. Anybody? Yeah, Musk is going to leave the USA. What other country allows billionaires to have no accountability? None of them. That's why they're all here. Just like when we start to tax them at 100%, they're all going to threaten to leave. Well, where are they going to take their money? Russia? China? The UK? Like, where are they going to take their money, guys? They're not. That's what I love about people going, oh, everybody's going to leave New York. Yeah, all those financial people are definitely going to leave the financial capital of the world. Right. I see who's stupid enough to fall for the propaganda. Keep pointing yourself out. Thank you. Thank you. And that's all this is. This red hat wearing MAGA movement, it's just, it's the public identifying itself. The stupid ones put on the red hats and say really dumb, obvious things. So it allows us to identify, okay, don't trust that person. Ooh, that person's not safe around children. Okay, don't let that person drive a heavy automobile. I also wanted to bring up somebody who's abandoned the MAGA movement, and you're going to see more and more and more and more and more of this until so many people are going to be like, I don't never support him. They're going to be burning their made in Pakistan MAGA hat. Marjorie Taylor Greene. You might know her as Machine Gun Kelly, the girl version. Is that what she's does she go by that? I don't know if she goes by that. But she's abandoned MAGA. And she went on The View. The View. Remember Donald Trump tried to get The View kicked off the air? He's so threatened by everything. He's like, Jimmy Kimmel, Seth, John Oliver, Jon Stewart, get Whoopi off the air, get Rosie O'Donnell to never come back to America. Like, he's such a sensitive frat. He needs America to be his safe space. But MTGBDEF, old horse legs herself, that's what I call her. Not saying I like her or I'm happy she's on her team, but I'm happy she abandoned the MAGA movement. Let's take a listen to her. Oh, hold on. It would help if I put the audio on. Unless some of you guys have supersonic hearing. Anybody have supersonic hearing? I don't trust you. How'd you get that power? Anyways, by the way, let me take a minute to say what's up to some people in the chat. 1,158 days remain of Lord Commander Trump's reign. That's if you think an 80-year-old can do this for 3 more years or whatever it is. Remember, all the MAGA people said, old Joe Biden is too old. I'm going to vote for the guy who's falling asleep at his desk right now. I'm going to vote for the other 80-year-old. It's a brilliant movement, as long as you don't question anything or critically think. Okay, here's MGD, Machine Gun Girly. Charlie Kelly's back. Charlie Kelly, you know him from Always Sunny. Thank you for the $10 super chat, Charlie. Hold on. Revolution is a necessary struggle for progress, driven by a need for radical change against your oppressor. Frederick Douglass. I love Frederick Douglass. He had some heroic writings, and I appreciate you, Charlie Kelly, for giving me that quote of his. Again, Frederick Douglass helped lead the abolitionist movement. He was a great speaker in the mid 1800s. He was born into slavery. I don't know his whole story, but was a free man in the North and an absolute great mind. And this is one of his quotes given us by It's Always Sunny's Charlie Kelly. I don't know if this is a real one. Revolution is a necessary struggle for progress driven by a need for radical change against your oppressor. My apologies. All right. I love all these people, especially these guys that always comment on looks. You notice that? MAGA's so obsessed with looks. Even, what's his face? Old Botox face himself. What's his name? Botox Pete? Pete Kegseth. Remember when he, what was he bitching about? He was bitching about something.
No more beardos.
That's right. Botox Pete said no more beardos. And he was like going to a Botox appointment, I think, later that week. Isn't that funny? MAGA's so obsessed with looks. So obsessed that they voted for a guy who puts on orange makeup every day. Oh, you guys are silly. You aren't serious people, and that's the funniest part. That is the funniest part. Here's MTG.
I think there's a lot of paid social media influencers. And I found it very interesting that they were the MAGA accounts, but they're all paid. And they all attacked me when I announced I was coming to join you ladies on The View. And I think that's very weak and pathetic. But when I talk about weak Republican men, I'm pretty much talking oftentimes about the leadership in the House and the Senate. And they're not getting our agenda done.
Weak and pathetic, weak, shallow and pedantic. That's Marjorie Taylor Greene commenting on the leadership. I don't know if you know who the leadership is. I'll play a clip for you. Let's see if you can identify who this is.
There's a lot of stupid people in this country running things.
That was Donald Trump. He's the leadership. And he, during the Tylenol conference, what are we calling it? He said there's a lot of stupid people in this country running things. I don't know if he knows that it's Republicans that are running things. They hold all the power. And he said this.
There's a lot of stupid people in this country running things.
And I would agree. He is a stupid person. He not only called himself stupid, but he also said,
Smart people don't like me.
Smart people don't like him. So for all the people in the chat talking about how much they love to defend Donald Trump and they love Donald Trump, he thinks you're stupid. So does Marjorie Taylor Greene. I love the poorly educated, Toxic Audrey. That's another great one. He does. He loves the poorly educated. Does anybody know why?
Educated? I love the poorly educated.
Because they're not smart people. They sound like this.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Everything's computer.
Still one of the funniest clips ever. Oh, these people. Some of you little snowflakes are so adorable. Do I upset you when I say working people should be able to afford to buy a home, not worry about the price of egg, have free health insurance, and also get a higher education if they want to? Does that bug you? When we say we taxed the millionaires 4%, not only 2, 4. Mamdani wants to tax New York wealthy people 2%. In Massachusetts, a couple of years ago, we taxed them at 4%. None of them left. Our millionaire population grew by 38%, and no kid in school goes hungry. You can get a free bachelor's degree at any community college. I know it upsets you that I want your neighbors to not struggle, especially you Christians. You guys like to wear your cross and pretend like Jesus told me I can hate everybody. He didn't. But I know you guys need a safe space, so skedaddle. Keep on going. Go over to Ben Shapino's network, or what's his name? Tim Pool. He'll tell you which Dr. Seuss book you got to burn this week, He'll make sure that you got the right M&M that's trying to turn all your pets gay, because that's what really matters. That's what's important. So go to Ben Shapino or Tim Pool or Who are the other guys? I don't even know. Polio Rogan.
Do you think we're babies?
Kind of. The president does think you're a baby, but
Enigmas never age. Have you noticed that? And Jeffrey, as a matter of fact, it was clear to me the last time I saw you.
that is a poem read by Polio Rogan that the president wrote to his best friend, Jeff Epstein. Love reminding people that. All right, let's go through some meme news, and then we're going to get to the president promising everyone $2,000 checks. For some of you, I would say hold your breath. They're coming right after the $5,000 Doge checks Elon promised everyone. But we're going to get to why he's promising those checks. Because he's a liar. Yeah, that's why, but there's more to it. I'm bad at teasing. Let's see. Oh, let's go into the healthcare plans. Remember, this is a decade long now. I'm not going to read this whole thing, but you could check it out. This is all of Donald Trump leading up to I have concepts of a plan in his debate versus Kamala. Concepts of a plan. Turned out when they did the big turd of a bill, the concepts were to push poor people off of it and to raise your premiums, of course. His concepts were to make it worse for everyday Americans. All his rich friends don't care about the cost. Patty David Stone from the Multi-Level Marketing podcast, he don't even know the price of his copays. But for you and I, we can have the concepts. And this is what we're going to get to. The new tariff stimulus check, $2,000. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, of course. Just like the Doge stimulus, guys. Did you guys all get yours? I retired with mine, obviously. Oh, hold on. This is not it. Sorry. Trying to keep with it. By the way, if you're new here, I'm Rob. Thank you for joining. This community is getting bigger every single day, and you'll see the bots and the Jeffrey Epstein supporters in the chat. Don't let them scare you. As Bernie Mac once said, I ain't afraid of none of you. All right. So for the rest of us who are trying to build a better tomorrow for the youth of today, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. We're doing it. Chris Valenti of Valenti Videos is doing it. And we're going to make this world better. And we're not going to give a fuck what MAGA says or these oligarch bootlickers. We're doing it without their consent. Just like they're making life horrible without the consent of the courts or the people. We're going to do the opposite, but we're going to do it so people work 3 days a week. Let the AI robots take over. Fuck them. We'll implement UBI. We will tax billionaires into extinction. We will pay, with those taxes, we'll pay for our healthcare, pay for our higher education. Because some of us, when we say we want to make this country great, that means we want the most educated. That means we don't want people in prison. We want rehabs. We want to address the opioid epidemic that's still going on. We want to hold those in power to account. We want free ambulance rides for everybody. We want paid paternal and maternal leave. Never have to earn sick time. You have to earn sick time in America. That is demented. Rich people don't forget that. Your boss doesn't, but you do. And that's what we mean by greater. Right now, the only thing that's remarkable about this country, and it's not remarkable in a good way, it's remarkable that we pay the most for health insurance out of any other place on this whole green earth, and our life expectancy is going down. That, and we have like 1 in 5 kids starving every day. It might even be higher now. Okay, we're going to get to that news. Oh, I wanted to show you this. This is a map of Maine, for those who did not learn geography. Maine, the far north, voted like this, okay? You see the deep red? That's Donald Trump. It's not very populated up here. This is on the Canadian border. Over here is New Hampshire. And then here's the coast. The coast is more democratic places. And then you'll see over here, this is the percentage receiving food stamps, SNAP benefits, okay? So you see the highest is the one that voted for Trump, and he's also starving those people. Down here, you can see this is the main care, basically Obamacare. You can see the highest is these dark red ones, people who voted for Trump. Also the most on Obamacare, which, by the way, if you wonder about Obamacare and why it sucks and why we should just have universal healthcare, single-payer healthcare system, Obamacare used to be called Romney Care. Romney was the governor of Massachusetts. Mitt Romney took that healthcare system from the Heritage Foundation. It's a hard right think tank. They are not for working people. They are the Christo white supremacist think tank that is helping to implement the Project 2025 shit. And people just associate Obama's name with that and bad and not understand the history that it's actually a Republican implemented system that was first in Massachusetts and then adapted by Obama, which the Republicans allowed him to do. So it's shit in all. It's shit. It's not a good thing. We totally have a better one like the rest of the world, but it's shit. But understand this, that the people who voted hardest for Trump also received the most SNAP and the most Medicare. And what is this one? Average premium increases also are going to be hit the hardest by Trumpers. So this is kind of my daily notification to you MAGAs that he don't care about you. You can vote all you want, just like when we listened to the soy boy farmers in Arkansas saying, Trump, we heard you say you love us. We need to see the fruits of your love. That's a quote from a soy boy farmer in Arkansas. Said he's going to lose his farm if Trump doesn't help. Trump doesn't care. Just like he doesn't care that the people who voted for him are also the ones on SNAP and Obamacare. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about you. And you can see that, I don't know, just in his daily actions. So we, the people, are going to take this country back, and we don't give a fuck if you're going to vote against your own interests. We're going to ensure that you, even if you vote against your own interests, you will still have food and health care. Those should be human rights, especially in the greatest country on earth. My Christ. Hit subscribe with the notification bell. Oh, yeah. I love this one. Why do billionaires care? For all you bootlickers. For all you bootlickers. For all you bootlickers. That means you love that Jeff Bezos doesn't pay his employees enough. And he doesn't allow them to use bathrooms and makes them pee in bottles. For all you bootlickers that love that the Walmart heirs, the Walton heirs, the people that didn't build up the company, they were just born into it, and they're just rich because of where they were born, and they still oppress their workers, so much so that most of their full-time workers get food benefits. For the people who defend them, I want you to read this. Why do billionaires care if they lose all their money? They'll just make it back with their superhuman work ethic, right? Besides, if they become poor, then all the money will simply trickle back down until they're rich again. Basic economics, people. Or they will get on that sweet, sweet benefits train that's so cushy. They could just be a welfare queen. Well, they already kind of are welfare queens. That's why they don't have to pay their employees a lot, because the government takes care of their employees. Because you and I subsidize the Walmart, the richest people in the world, the Bezos, the Walmarts, all those people. We subsidize their employees by giving them the benefits. And I love when my tax money goes to feeding people. I hate that the richest people in this country take advantage of that. And instead of just not having a 50-foot yacht, maybe getting a 45-foot yacht, and just pay their employees more, you know? But some of you were like, no, they deserve the 50-foot. No, they were born to the right family. They worked hard at being born. Fucking morons. And for everybody else who is sick of that mindset and knows, clearly understands that that's propaganda to make you try and defend this oligarch class that is working to strip away your rights, your food, your healthcare, every opportunity they get, they're not even hiding it anymore. For the rest of us, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. All right. Oh, I want to show you this too. You bootlickers, pay attention. And for the rest of you, this just might be interesting. What if the typical worker pay had risen like CEO salaries since the late 60s? Because if you don't know, CEOs used to make something of a 25-30 to 1. That means 30 times what their median employee made, which seems reasonable, right? I don't think they work 30 times harder, but you know, all the typical, they took on the risk, they did this. I don't know how you say that shit with like Larry Ellison's son, who just inherited a media conglomerate. You know, like he just inherited it. He didn't really work harder. He didn't take on any risk. He was just, you know, came out of one dude's pee-pee. And that's all his qualifications were. Visualize, 199. Love how you feel your poverty isn't your fault. That's an interesting take, you know. It's an interesting take. It really is. Especially when you're someone stupid enough to not understand that nobody's pay has kept up with inflation, with CEO salaries like we're going to go over. So you can work, because here's the thing. You might be young and stupid, or you might just be old and stupid. But I was around long enough to know when we used to, here in America, work one job and be able to afford shit. And if you think that same country still exists, my God, I feel bad for you. And what I do here is I try to educate, inform, and entertain. I think I'll call it valuetainment. That's it. I'll call it valuetainment. Our future looks bright here because once we identified the problem that we have a parasitic class at the top, then we could get to solutions. Because right now, if you think working 3 jobs is just going to make you magically survive, I got news for you. Shit's about to get worse. But let's take a look at this. Because nowadays, the Starbucks CEO makes 6,666 times more than his median employee. He makes $46,000 an hour. Takes some people 3 years at his company to make that. And he only started like 4 or 5 months ago. So it wasn't hard work. It wasn't anything. And this is what I'm trying to show you, how the system is rigged against you. Some people don't understand that, and you can't blame them, you know? They just fell out of the stupid tree, got hit with every stick on the way down, and then they walk around like there's some kind of intelligent person. I just got to blame everybody for their own poverty. What's that? 86% of Americans are stressed about groceries? Well, 86% of Americans are responsible for that. Yeah, that's totally it. It couldn't be that, you know, corporations have admitted to price colluding, aka price fixing, against people, and that's why we've seen exorbitant rates go up on like chips and eggs and shit like that. Can you not read? Maybe you can't. And in that case, I can't fault you. But that's why I support publicly funded greater education here in America. That's why I say I want a smart, publicly educated fucking proletariat. I shouldn't use that word. You don't understand. I want the public to be smarter. Does that make sense? And then you'll see what I'm talking about. But in 1968, typical worker pay, hourly pay, including benefits, in 2024 dollars would have been $25, okay? Which is, oh man, what does that say about today's day and age? If we were getting paid just in 1968 money, we'd be making $10 more than what we make in Massachusetts. But that's like more than triple the federal minimum wage. In 2024, typical hourly worker pay, including benefits, $36.49. What 2020? So that's like what we should be making. What 2024 typical worker hourly pay, including benefits, would be if it had grown at the same pace CEO pay had grown since 1968. $431. We just call it 432. That's what it would be if our pay, as every time CEOs raise their pay for not doing shit, we don't even know if they're showing up to work and taking private jets and making bad decisions and then getting golden parachute bailouts. But if we had kept pace with them, our pay right now would be $431. Now, I think the federal minimum wage should be $66 an hour, but I'm not against that. Let's go to another meme news. Ooh, we're going to talk about this in a little bit. All you illegal immigrant supporters. This is the one illegal immigrant I don't support. Elon Musk came here from South Africa. His brother admitted it. We already went over that. Okay, let's get to the news. We're working on more effects. If you hit subscribe and the notification bell, or if you support the channel, just know that's all going towards a better setup. Kind of like Valenti Videos has, where he has like a computer and you can bring things up and you can watch it with me. I want to do that. But I just haven't blamed myself enough for my own poverty yet, like that one super chatter said. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. But once I just blame myself and just work hard enough, I'm sure, I'll be an Elon Musk too. These people. All right. All right, hold on. I love it. I'm a first generation American. Haven't got a handout from anyone. Why am I more successful than you? You haven't got a handout from anyone? So you have no parents. You don't drive on our roads. You don't use our healthcare system. You don't use any kind of civil anything. What island do you live on where you're totally by yourself? Visualized. What island are you from? In America that's unpopulated where you've done everything on your own. You know, the problem is with some of these people who, you know, don't have an avatar and like to say shit like that is they don't tell you they usually lived with their parents till they were 40, you know, never had to pay rent, had food. Oh, mom, where's the meatloaf? And that kind of shit. And that's okay. They like to pretend like, ooh, I'm some self-made person. I paved all the roads that I drove to work. I built the car that I made to take to work. And they love to act like the privileged assholes that they are. And they pretend society doesn't exist. There's no society. Society is just a made-up thing. I did everything on my own. You sound like a moron. You understand that, right? You understand me? These people, I got to break it down for them. Listen, I don't hate... Look, my parents died when I was young. So I don't get mad at anybody for living with their parents as long as they can and never having to pay for food or groceries or understand how the healthcare system works or for rent, anything like that, or when they inherit their parents' house. I don't get mad at them for that, but just don't fucking lord it over us like, oh, I did everything on my own. I've dealt with people like you before. You're the most entitled, fucking arrogant people ever, especially when you think no one can discover that I still live with my parents and I don't have to pay rent. I just stayed at home until I could afford it. Or my parents gave me a $60,000 loan. I dealt with people through my whole life like this, and it's fucking exhausting. Blunt truths. Thank you for the $4.99 super chat. You can't blame the same. You can't blame the poor for being poor when the corporations rob the masses. Blunt truth. Speaking of that. Does anybody know what the biggest theft in America is? This isn't a trick question. What the largest theft is? Because everybody, the law and order regime, you know, the guy you elected who's a felon, who's all over the Epstein files, did you elected to bring law and order? Who's ignoring court orders, federal judges saying you need to pay SNAP or whatever they've said this time? You know, the guy who didn't get any public opinion or the right permits to destroy the East Wing of the White House? You know that guy that you want to bring law and order? You know he doesn't talk about the largest theft in America? Does anybody? There it is, April Love. Thank you so much. April, you made me so fucking proud. I love my community. I love the community. April, I hope you've hit subscribe and the notification bell. Thank you. Wage theft. Wage theft makes all of the other thefts, all of the other flashy, sexy crimes so minuscule compared to how much corporations steal from us every year. A guy I worked with in radio hadn't been paid in years. They'd owed him thousands of dollars. Good luck getting that money back. And this is real. This happens all the time. All the time. And if you're not paying attention, your company will rob you blind. And what's your recourse in that? Do you even know it? We'll do that. That will be a whole separate episode. Because I know how to help you with that. I've had to help many people with that. But that's when you get the state involved. That's why all these people that work for a living that are like, I don't want regulations. Really? So you want your company to be able to rob you and you have no recourse to get that money back? You've clearly lived a pretty privileged existence to, you know, say shit like billionaires would say. But thank you so much, April Love. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Wage theft is the biggest theft. And you'd think if it was the biggest, it was happening everywhere in America. You know, the criminal in the White House would talk about it. He doesn't. Weird. It's always weird when people like Jimmy come in here and say how much they love Epstein's best friend. It's weird. I don't know why you support Peter Pan, but you do. I can't convince you otherwise. You just got weird tendencies, man. Weird tendencies. Anyways. All right. So, but again, Donald Trump said, oh, maybe he didn't say it. Okay, thank you, machine. Oh, what? Did I turn the thing off? My Christ, people. What did you do? You break my thing? Now look what you did. You broke my thing, Trump. All right, we're not going to play that anyways. We're going to talk about his party and the $2,000 he's promising everyone. Does anybody in the chat remember Elon Musk is a European colonizer nipple baby? He is. Did you know his grandparents were so racist? They were in Canada. They were so racist that when they heard about the apartheid, they were Nazi supporters too. When they heard about the apartheid in South Africa, they moved from Canada to South Africa to be a part of the apartheid. That's his grandparents. And he's also an illegal immigrant. So when is ICE going to kick in SpaceX doors? At any point? Or is it just certain color immigrants that you guys care about? Racist. Now, does anybody remember I got to give you a baseline for this story. Here's a little backstory. I'm old enough to remember. It was the year of our Lord 2025. The year had just started. Everybody was miserable because they elected Epstein's best friend to the White House. But this guy, unelected illegal immigrant, took control of a bunch of stuff, including our personal information, with no recourse. And then he promised, with all the money he was saving, remember Elon Musk said, oh, we're finding a lot of fraud. But fraud is like a legal term. Like there's a crime if you're a fraud. Well, maybe not in America anymore. But Elon Musk said that he was going to give us Doge checks, Doge dividend checks. Hold on. Doc Mack, he's building a data center under the ballroom. I believe it. Under the Epstein Memorial Ballroom. Thank you for the $1.99 super chat. You know what? I wouldn't doubt it. They're building a data center under the Epstein Memorial Ballroom. That's the official name, I believe. He's illegal. Hey, stupid people, listen to me. Oh, hold on, is my thing not working? I might have to restart it. I have Kimball Musk, his brother, in an interview said, they found out me and Elon were illegal immigrants in America. He came here on a student visa. He didn't take the Epstein visa like Melania did. He was here on a student visa and he never graduated. He's here illegally. You know the thing that they were kidnapping people from Boston for? Saying, oh, they did the terms of their visa wrong. He's an illegal immigrant. It's only a civil infraction, just like all of this shit. So the ICE thing is a bit, harsh and unnecessary. But he's an illegal immigrant. And his own brother ratted him out. So, don't be a dumb. It's my fault you're a dummy. You don't know anything. Stop blaming people, Stop thinking if I say it enough, it becomes true. You're taking after this orange pedo. But he said, hold on, where's the rest of the story? No, that's not it. Where is it? Where is the rest of the story? Here it is. Musk said, if Musk successfully meets his lofty $2 trillion government goal, he's going to give $5,000 per household. Remember that? Remember that promise? Remember that? And then it just disappeared. No charges of fraud. No Doge dividends. Big balls got beat up, I believe. Interesting, right? So you need to remember this, the $5,000 promise of Doge dividend checks before we get into the next one. So now there's another extravagant party at Mar-a-Lardo at Epstein neighbor's house. That's what we'll call it. Epstein's neighbor's house had another extravagant party where they said they featured a 3-course meal, beef, dauphinoise, pan-seared scallops, and a trio of desserts, including Trump chocolate cake. Meanwhile, Americans are going hungry. Working Americans are starving. 3-course meal, second party in a weekend, or in 2 weekends, 2 parties. And then after this, what did he do? He promised $2,000 payments to most Americans during a social media rant. And I would say, the old guy should probably just get off social media. But he said a dividend of at least $2,000 a person, not including high-income people, would be paid to everyone because of the tariff money. And I say, well, if that's true, just send it already. People are starving. premiums on healthcare went up. People are struggling all around. I know there's people in the chat that are like, I'm fine. Okay, great. I'm sure you're being honest. But most of Americans are struggling right now. That's why he's super unpopular. So it's vital to understand that when he starts lying like this, you know, because that's what he does. He's a liar. Remember when he said, I've never doodled in my life? And then Ghislaine Maxwell's party, her representatives, released his doodle drawing to Epstein. And they released that and proved him wrong. He's a liar. Just like Doge, just like all this. And it seems like he's doing this to, look over here, look over here. You're not hungry. I'm sending you checks. And I would say if he's not lying, just send him. You know? You can destroy the White House during a shutdown. You can travel to foreign countries. You can throw all these extravagant parties. Send the checks. Send the checks, right? If you're not a liar, I wouldn't believe a confirmed liar. But just so you know, that's what. Get a better job, Jimmy. How dare you? I'm trying to do the job that the people that you worship do. I think it's always funny when people are like, what'd you get a better job? What? Like the one Polio Rogan does, or Ben Shapiro, or Tim Pool, or Patty Bet Davidstone? They all do this, right? Or do they say things that doesn't offend you? Are you triggered? Is that what you're telling me? To get a better job? Because you're triggered? I love when I trigger people, especially the people that said F your feelings. Are you triggered? It seems like you're triggered if you'd say get a better job, and that's your comment. You know, spent all that time chatting away in the comments to get my attention, and finally you get it, and you tell me to not do the job Joe Rogan does? What's the other one? Theo Vaughn lived next to a KKK member? The job they do? But you put all your trust in those men, right? It's the incel army. We buy his alpha pills. Isn't that funny? Joe Rogan sells pills that are called like alpha pill. It couldn't even be more generic. It's probably like dirt. It's like all the minerals from Mother Earth, and it's just dirt in a pill. These people would buy it. Placebos. It's so funny, these people. Joe Rogan, yeah. I've met Joe Rogan a few times. He's not as short. PH, $4.99, thank you for the super chat. Keep up the good fight. And I will. I'll always. I love triggering these Republicans, these maggots, MAGATS. I love triggering them. Because they offer nothing. You notice over the past 10 years, that's something else I want to point out. Outside of like the lavish spending that they do on the wealthy, you know, destroying the White House, which I'm sure if Obama did that, everybody would be cool about it. But outside of like, you know, the hate mongering, the fear mongering, everyone's leaving New York. Why? Because he offered to lower egg prices like Trump did? It doesn't make any sense, but okay, go on. With you and your not making sense. You notice that? How Mamdani just offered to lower egg prices and give you a free bus ride there and tax the wealthy. And people are like, oh, everybody, New York has fallen. And it's like, didn't Trump promise to do the same thing? Not the free bus ride, but lower egg prices. And then on day one, he was like, I can't do that. You're stupid. I'm not doing that. You guys are idiots. I love how it's just racism. You know, like they show it to you. You just got to be paying attention. But over the past decade, right? Out of all the fear mongering, all the fucking Nepo elite baby stuff, the entitled, privileged old white guys that just need more, and they send their little bot armies. There's been no policy. Like, what have they pitched as like a thing, you know? Remember the concepts of a healthcare plan like I showed you? I mean, they talk a lot. They don't want to feed hungry Americans, but they have no plan to like, you know, help Americans not work 3 jobs to afford egg. They have nothing. There's been no, everybody that I see complaining on social media about Obamacare, which, remind you, it used to be Romney Care. Hold on, let me see if oh yeah, here we go. So In case you don't believe me, just look it up. I mean, it's amazing that we have pocket computers. We literally have a computer in our pocket, and there are still people too stupid to just try to know things. But before Obamacare happened, it was Mitt Romney care in Massachusetts. This was the Heritage Foundation's thing. They disavowed their support, but this was a Heritage Foundation creation. The Heritage Foundation initially proposed the model for health reform that included an individual mandate, which was adopted by Mitt Romney. So it's funny to me that even the people on social media now, they're the Congress people, you know, like they should know what they're talking about. Well, I think they're maliciously misleading people. But they're all like complaining, Obamacare sucked anyways. We shouldn't even give it to people. It's like, well, of course it sucked. It was a Heritage Foundation thing. The Project 2025 guys. Project 2025 is the only policy they've talked about. And that wasn't even policy. That was like, hey, you know, before civil rights, let's do that again. Like that was the whole thing. They were like, you know, before women and any minority could vote, like, let's just go back to that. Like it wasn't even new shit, you know? And we're in a day and age where we have enough food, enough house. For every single homeless person in America, there's 25 empty homes. I don't know if you're a math person, but we can house the homeless. We have enough food to go around. Just go to any dumpster at closing time, and you'll see how much they throw away because they can't profit off of it. And the funniest part about all this is if you know anything about the economy, if you heard an economists, you know, talk, they're usually talking to defend capitalism, but they'll even acknowledge that the economy is 70% consumer purchasing power. What does that mean? Well, 70% of the economy, we're the consumers, depends on us to have money. And it's funny that they don't want to pay us, they don't want us to eat, they want us to have medical debt, they want us to have school debt, but they also want us to support the economy. It's a very simple thing. When you pay people enough, everyone does better. When people can eat, when people, like, think about the things that have been pitched over the past few years. It's just about more suffering. It's just like they're doing the immigrant roundup, right? Although they're not getting the ones we need them to get, like Elon Musk. And isn't that unreal that the October jobs report said, you know, since the beginning of Trump's regime, we've lost 1 million jobs, more layoffs than in the past 20 years. So what happened to, if they get the immigrants, the jobs will be better. Your CEO will pay you more. Bosses will pay you. It was all a fucking lie. They manipulated you. They've lied to you. And I'm trying to show you that with just fucking facts, just history, folks. Just like I say, a 3-day work week. And some of you fucking simpletons freak the fuck out. Some of you guys freak out. Like, it's 3-day work week. How am I going to get away from my family? I don't have any friends. You know, like, I get it. I hear you. But for the rest of us who do have family and friends, or pets, or art to create, a 3-day work week isn't crazy. 100 years ago, the robber barons thought we would only be working about 3 days a week. They thought, the technology would be taking over and we as humans would be doing the fun things and let the robots do the boring shit. And some of you fight vehemently against that, even though it would help you. That's the thing about us leftists. The things we want to implement, even though you hate yourself, you're self-loathing, and you vote for people who hate you and think you're stupid, like we've heard Donald Trump say, smart people don't like me. Us leftists still want you to have a decent life. Nobody went to the grave and said, put on my gravestone, worked 180 hours a week. Nobody said that. Nobody. I used to go to graveyards to explore paranormal things. You can see my videos. And no gravestone said, worked his entire life, never saw his kids. They don't say that. I hate to break it to you. Maybe you'll be the first. If so, send me a picture. But it's unreal, man, because us leftists, we want people to have a good life. And if you look, there was a study I did, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. There was a study I talked about. In the UK, they went down to a 4-day work week. It was like 100 corporations. And they just tried it. 4-day work week, okay? I say 3. You only work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday through Monday off. But they went down to a 4. And I think like 99% stayed at a 4-day work week. Why? Because history will tell you, if you like to read books, I'm not even going to show it to you. Join our Discord if you want to see the books. But they found out that when people are rested and have personal time and have a life to get to outside of work, the turnover rate goes down, injury rate goes down, productivity goes up. All these benefit the company and the human. So this is just like historically speaking, and not even far back history, as recent as of this year. Hold on. Somebody, I'm way behind in the comments. My apologies. What if we stop sending money to Israel? Use that money. 100% visualize. I agree with that. I agree with not sending money to other countries while Americans starve. 100%. James Thompson, keep speaking facts. Thank you for the $9.99 super chat, and thank you Visualize for the $1.99 super chat. Thank you, James. That's huge. That's huge, man. That's like 2 egg. I'm joking. Some people are like, bro, egg isn't $5, but and it's like, fuck, man. I'm a joke channel. I tell jokes. Oh, I know you guys can't tell anymore because Joe Rogan, like, you know, is the most unfunny person ever. I'm guessing you've heard him before, but keep speaking facts. Some people just can't comprehend it, will never get it. And James Thompson, thank you again for the $9.99 super chat. That's what I'm talking about. These people that you see during the civil rights era, they would have said, no, black people should never be in school, separate but equal. You know, they would have preached that. We would have still been back in history. If you keep going further back, these people that you see hating on all this shit, they would have been the ones when, you know, Paul Revere was going on his midnight ride. They would have said, you're riding a horse at night. It'll never happen. The British are going to catch you. There's always been these naysayers that want to defend the status quo, that want to keep their little bubble protected because they're not affected yet. And there's always been those people throughout history. And you know what we say to them? Fuck you. Go in the corner. Be obedient. Shut your mouth. We're tired of hearing you. Your ideas are bad. That's why I love Valenti videos. Because he's not, you know, going to tolerate it just like I'm not. You know, we're trying your thing. Guess what? For all you crying, we need Republicans. We need a CEO in the White House. You got your pedo pan in the White House. Republicans control everything. And people are starving. There's food lines. The government's never been shut down for longer. They destroyed the White House. They're fucking, hold on. I got a meme for it. I'll just show you all this shit that they're doing. Where is it? Here we go. Flights are getting canceled right before the holidays. Food lines throughout the country. Food prices up. ICE army raging in the streets. Congress shut down. American farmers bankrupt. White House partially destroyed. Trump is making millions on crypto, though. This is what you guys voted for. And guess what? There's a lot of us, says the elections on Tuesday, that said, you guys need to shut the fuck up. Whatever you wanted, it's bad. It wasn't a good idea. We've done it for 10 months now, and time for change. And that's the one thing we can thank these morons for. You know, these people that voted for a felon to be the law and order guy. These people that voted for Peter Pan, Jeffrey Epstein's best friend, to be a law and order guy. These people that voted for this guy who bragged about going into women's locker rooms when he owned the pageant, voted for him to get men out of women's locker rooms, a thing he bragged about doing. These people that voted for him, the guy who bankrupted casinos, to restore the economy. I mean, it was just stupid on its face, but, you know, we had to do it. They had to do it. They had to have their way. They're tiny little brats. They had their way. And it turns out it doesn't work for anybody besides him and his goons. And the good thing about it is once it collapses, once this regime crumbles, like Steve Bannon said, I played it for you the other day, said some of these people, Bannon said, some of you in this room, including me, are going to go to prison. And good, we're going to hold them accountable. But the beautiful thing is, from the ashes, like a phoenix rising, we will rebuild. Just like if you look at the stock market crash in 1929, and when FDR got elected for 4 times after it, he put in all the socialism that you fearmonger about, and he put half of America back to work on public works and all these amazing things that happened after that. It's because at some point, people get fed up and say, fucking done. You don't call America great while kids are starving. Well, people that are working full-time are starving. Well, people are dying because they just can't access the health care because they're not rich enough, or they put their house up for a second mortgage to get a cure. You know, that's not greatness. That is bullshit. And just because a few of him and his goons are doing great doesn't mean that we accept it. And for the people that keep defending it, shut the fuck up. So thank you, James Thompson, for that super chat. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Peggy Baker. What happened to having a civil tongue? I hope you ain't talking to me, sweetheart. You elected a guy who talked about grabbing him in the pussy. You know what I mean? You talked about a guy who threw in Tic Tacs and Casey started kissing them against their will. You talked about, you elected a guy who was all about making fun of disabled reporters. Are you fucking kidding me? The people that wore a F Your Feelings t-shirt, you're talking to me about a civil tongue? Get the fuck out of here. This ain't the channel for you, sweetheart. You broad. Do you like those words? Do those words trigger you? It's funny. If Trump says them to someone, especially like a woman of color or something, some minority group, you fucking cheer him on. As soon as I start talking about it, all of a sudden you want civil tongues? Get out of here. Another one. Don Cankles was voted in because he's a white male. That's it. It's as simple as that. They thought, oh, he's white like me. He'll protect me. I mean, it's ridiculous how stupid some people think. But again, why do you think they love the poorly educated? Why do you think they're defunding education? They want you to say stupid, but not too stupid where you can't work at the factories. Just stupid enough that when they say, we're going to bring sweatshops back to America, which why would they? You know, unless they can get rid of the federal minimum wage, you know, then they'll bring the sweatshops back. They want you just stupid enough to cheer for you getting a sweatshop job, but not too stupid so you can't press the buttons at it. Rami, the ARP subsidies got rid of the 400% FPL cap in the ACA. So as long as your plan costs 8.5% your income, a family making $400 a year can get government subsidized healthcare. Is fighting for what? Worth not opening the government. Huh? Can you say it in common tongue? Another one. That's it. Thank you. Another one. That's it. Peggy, I'm 70. Don't call me sweetheart. I will call you sweetheart, sweetheart. Get over it, sweetheart. Why are you not a sweetheart? Well, if you supported Trump, I'm guessing you're not a sweetheart. But I would assume that you're sweet of heart. You asked for a civil tongue, and here it comes. Make Argentina great again. Somebody in my chat, I forget who it was, and I apologize because you were a brilliant mind. They said, make America Great Britain again. And that was one of the funniest things I've ever heard. But Peggy, if you're 70 years old, did you vote for Trump? And if so, why? Why would you unleash this hell upon us? Why would you elect a felon to be law and order? Why would you elect a failed casino dude to be a business guy? Why would you elect a Nepo baby who is better? Why? I need to know. And Peggy, it's never too soon to abandon ship. Peggy, you can be American today. You can start being American today because whoever supports Trump is anti-American. You are for people starving, people going homeless, hardworking people starving. You are for workers to suffer while their bosses get every benefit and no accountability. So you could start being American today. Being American means that you want your neighbors to not go hungry. It's as simple as what Jesus said. Love your neighbor. Oh, Jesus Christ. Some of these people. And that's the other thing. This dude's going to be a trillionaire, okay? Trillionaire. And for the people who defend him, sickening. 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 You could be one of these betrayed Trump voters. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. I'll link this down below. Oh, by the way, everything, if you're new here, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. Everything I plan to discuss that I showed you as news stories, I'll link in the description. But here's the thing. I know you guys love blaming Democrats because you heard your daddy bird say that. Your daddy bird Trump, apricot makeup wearing Epstein's best friend, he regurgitated that into your mouth, and you turn around and go, Democrat, Democrat, Democrat. But let me just remind you, Donald Trump is appealing funding SNAP to the courts. So if he wanted to feed these people, why is he fighting it in court? You know what I mean? It's like everything on its face doesn't make sense with you. But again, you can't speak to these people with facts or reason because Donald Trump only appeals to their emotion. They're emotional reactionary creatures. They don't go, oh, yeah, that makes sense. They just go, whatever I think is what is true. That's why, they hate gender affirming stuff, but they support a guy who makes all of his posters and all of the pictures that they wrap on trucks and the pictures they put on his shirts and the photos of Donald Trump they put on his virtual trading cards. He did gender affirming care on those. He took his head and put it on another man's body. He did gender affirming care. Elon Musk, Donald Trump, Pete Kegseth, all of these guys they support that are like, we're against gender affirming care, they all do it. So it's like they don't. I'm just surprised they've made it this far. Let's say that. Hold on. Who dropped a super chat? Another one. MAGA getting their faces eaten were warned. They were warned. ISYN. What does ISYN stand for? But yes, they were warned. By the way, who dropped the $20 super chat? Thank you for that very much, by the way. I gotta go all the way back. Rami. Did you clarify what you were saying in the super chat? I want to make sure I catch it. Sorry, sometimes the chats go by very fast. But Rami, if you had a clarification, I would like to read it. You don't know who I voted for, Peggy Beggar says. So tell me, Peggy. Why are you writing a fucking John Grisham novel over here? Just say it, But just you saying you don't know who I voted for tells me that, you don't say that if you're like, I didn't vote for this shit. You know what I mean? Like, I can read them between the lines. I'm not a moron. Rami. My Christ, Rami. Okay, Rami, I'm guessing you didn't follow. Hey, what's up, Michael? Oh, good to see you, bro. This guy just trying to make money off of his own BS. I can't take people. I hate to break this to you, don't you know? Outside of the super chats, I don't make any money doing this. If you saw what my ad revenue was, I think it's like pennies for some of these videos. I do this, and the proof is you can go back 2 years and see that I've been doing live streams since before there were 100 people in the chat. I do this because I care about my country and shit needs to change. And there's too many grifters like you support probably, Donald Trump, who will just say anything. You hear him all the time. Daddy Bird regurgitates Democrats and the little baby birds go and they do his dirty work for him. And I'm sick of that and I'll stand against it every single day of my life. So think what you want. I know I trigger a lot of these MAGAs, but fucking peace out. Hold on. Kathleen Mann. You just tugged on a heartstring of mine. Quote, not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven, but the one who does the will of my Father, Jesus Christ. Please read the book of Matthew. I love the book of Matthew. I quote the book of Matthew here. And in fact, I try to point out to people that all these people who are doing shit in the name of Christ need to understand that, you know what his greatest commandment was? Do you know? Do you know, Kathleen? Jesus said the greatest commandment is not only to love the Lord your God, but to love your neighbor unselfishly. He didn't say, make sure you check their papers, see if they have proper insurance, see if they're working full time so they don't starve. He didn't say any of that shit. And you have leadership right now who is telling you your neighbor is your enemy. And Jesus never said that. So I would encourage you to read Matthew. Poppy Shoes. MAGA, read Revelations 21:8 about liars. You could just read Jesus's woe to the hypocrites, his part of his, was it Sermon on the Mount, where he speaks to the Pharisees. And he says, woe to you hypocrites, you're like a whitewashed tomb, pretty on the outside, evil on the inside, misleading the people. He calls them like a den of vipers or some shit. I forget. I wasn't planning. It is Sunday. It is the Lord's Day. But yeah, read anything in the Bible, anything that Jesus said, and you'll see what hypocrites these people are. They would never starve people. Jesus didn't say, hey, my disciples, bring me the fish and the loaves of bread. Okay, now let's finish this shit because this crowd's getting hungry. He didn't say that. It's an Epstein shutdown, JB. It is. It's an Epstein shutdown. It's weird that he's putting up that Epstein Memorial Ballroom in memorial of his friend who passed away in prison while they're doing the Epstein shutdown. Because if you don't know, we talked about it here. Christ was homeless. He was. Well, he could always go back to his mom's house, but he didn't carry cash. He didn't fly in a jet. He didn't ask anyone who was lame or sick for what insurance they had or a copay when he healed them. He didn't ask the kids, do your parents work to feed them? So there was a lot of things that I try to live my life like Christ did. I love Christ. Christ is my savior. Thank you, Poppy Shoes, for the $2 super chat. Appreciate you. Hopefully you've hit subscribe and the notification bell. Release the Epstein files. Oh, that's what I was saying. So on Friday, we talked about how there is word, there are leaks. And if we get more than a leak and we get some information, I will go live right away. Just like when we found out Elon Musk had plans to go to Epstein Island, and I showed you that paperwork, I will cover it right away. So that's why I said hit the notification bell. I'm live Monday through Friday. This is a little bonus episode. Especially because I found out about Valenti videos when his energy is the energy we need. That fired me up for life. Because people like that are going to lead this movement when the people take the country back. But on Friday, we talked about how there are people saying the Epstein files are much, much worse than expected, like much worse. And I've played for you the audio of the interviewer, Michael Wolff, who spoke with Epstein and Trump. He did Trump's 2 books. And he was the one who saw the Polaroids with Trump with 4 or 5 girls of an uncertain age, girls, sitting on his lap, topless. And he saw those pictures in person. The one that Pam Blondie wouldn't say no, don't exist. And people are saying the Epstein files are worse than that for Trump. So just a warning for you guys. I would abandon ship if you care about protecting kids at all. You probably don't, so. Rami, there we go. Thank you for the $10 super chat. Damn, Rami. Thank you very much, man. That was kind of you. The subsidies the Dems are fighting for are the ARPA COVID subsidies. It only removed the 400% federal poverty level cap, so wealthier families qualified for health care. I don't think that's noble. Those are the only subsidies that I vaguely know what you're talking about, but no, I'm not researching this right now. If you want to come back tomorrow, I will do so. I'm not going to read while I'm on live stream, but I believe there was more than just that it removed. Because again, from not only the premiums that are going up right now, that are skyrocketing, that we've talked about here, that if you're getting your premium notice, because usually I forget, what is it, October? I think by October 2nd, people have to re-sign up for healthcare, or at least, like I did. So then you get your premium notices, and those are quadrupling in some cases, at least doubling in some cases. Oh shit, that reminds me, I wanted to play something for you. Hold on. But I believe it was more subsidies that they took that are going to kick people off. And I'm not sure if it's working requirements, which don't work for people. You shouldn't have to work to, make sure you don't die from a sickness we cured 100 years ago. Another one. Thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Has anyone been tuning into the lady calling churches for formula? She now has those church pastors under fire, Pharisees, all of them. No. Another one. Can you please, if there's a story or information on that, audio on that you can link in the comments to the video once I'm done, just put in the comments. Or if you're a member of our Discord, link in the description. If you can send me that information, I'll look it up later. But if you have something better, please, because I would absolutely love to talk about that. See, this is why I love this community. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. This community's rad, man. It takes a village, as we used to say. Now, I'm sure people say, it just takes that orange guy, that orange criminal who is friends with Epstein. That's all it takes. Remember when Trump said that? Only I can fix it. I come from an age where we used to want shit better for the kids. The older people, the elders used to say, we want it better for you. I mean, they used to say shit like, it takes a village. And now they're like, it just takes yourself. Just takes Donald Trump, that's it. It's so ridiculous. Takes a criminal. Thank you, Kara. Thank you, Kara. It just takes a criminal. Brilliant. Chef's kiss on that one. So I want to, Rami was talking about the subsidies. I want to play this other audio for you from the president, the criminal in chief, where he said he's announcing top pharmaceutical companies have agreed to lower drug prices by over 70%. No, sorry, 700%. Another one, 199. Yes, I'll send your way. I live in Boston too. Solidarity. Another working class person, another working class city. I'm telling you, Boston's leading the way, but the mainstream media is not reporting that we put a wealth tax in and it's benefiting all of the people in the state. New York is the next. We're taking this country back. I'm so excited for this movement that's happening. You can be part of it. Join the family, join the community, join the coalition, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. Yes, another one. Please send it my way. Send it my way. Join the Discord link down below or in the comments after. And thank you again for the 199. All right, this is Donald, Jeffrey Epstein's best friend, Trump, talking about drug prices lowered by 700%.
Impossible. Tremendous guts.
God, this is the White House. They can't get a better mic.
Impossible. Tremendous guts. 200%, 300%, 500%, 700%.
So did you hear what he said? Tremendous cuts. Didn't think it would be possible by 200%, 300%, 400%, 500%, 700%. I know there will be the loyalists, the traitorous turncoats, the Benedict maggots that will praise this. Oh my God, Donald Trump's cutting pharmaceutical prices. By the way, he's been saying this for like 6 months. That they're cutting them by 700%. And I went and looked up earlier. If you have a prescription that costs you $50, okay? Just want to break down the math of how that works because the president is a moron and it's not possible. But I just want to prove it to you. So, and you can do this. You have, a computer in your pocket. You can say, what's 700% of 50? Or whatever let's say your drug cost anything. You can put that in. But I did, if your pharmaceutical costs $50, do you know what 700% off would be? That means the pharmaceutical company will pay you $350 to take that drug. That's 700% off. Does anybody think that's happening? Because fuck, we'd all be getting prescriptions if that was happening. I mean, this is the bullshit that comes out of the White House that people are still supporting. There are a few of you, not many. There's a lot leaving. There's a lot. And I'm not joking. There's more and more stories like this every day. But if Donald Trump got 700% off of a $50 prescription, that means the pharmaceutical company now is paying you $350 to take that drug. Okay? I guess that's how it's working now. I think he either said or meant 70. No, he didn't, Peggy. And this is what I mean. It's like, Peggy, give it a fucking rest. Because before he said it, and again, you can just Google this. Folks, you have the internet at your fingertips. And this has been reported on many different times. Because before he was saying 1,000%, 1,500%, but in just this clip alone, if you listen, he says 200%, 300%, 400%. Just listen.
200%, 300%, 500%, 700%.
200%, 300%, 500%, 700%. He didn't mean 20, 30. He didn't. And if he did, if we have a president who's saying that and didn't mean it, get this fucking dementia dude out of the office. He shouldn't be running a country, Let him go retire somewhere nice, like Epstein Island. I heard he loved it. But don't. This is, Peggy, you're poisonous. You're poisonous to the community, Peggy, with this kind of defending of Beto Pan. You understand me? Because you said 700%. And I broke down for you the math because, America don't like to do math. And you could do it too if you don't believe me. You could do it. You can play along at home. You put it in on your phone. You say, what's 700% of 50? And you find out 350. So pharmaceutical companies are going to start paying us $350 to take our $50 drugs. And if you believe that, holy shit. If you believe that, I'm glad you're not on our team. MAGA, make Argentina great again. All these pedo pan supporters. It's weird, man. It's weird that you guys are still supporting a dude who totally lies, but it's easier to show them with an example of a $100 prescription. You're probably correct, Michelle. I just couldn't believe anybody can afford a $100 prescription, so I did 50. But if you want to do 100, I'm guessing you could just double it, you know, so they will pay you 700 because, again, 100 is double 50. I'm not going to break all that down. But if you think having your prescription off if you think that anything can be more than 100% off, just so you guys understand how this works. If you went to the store and someone said, that's 100% off, that means it's free. Anything above 100% when it comes to buying something means they'll give you money. That's how it works. I can't believe I'm fucking breaking this down for Americans. God, we need to invest. We need to invest in education. This is so disappointing. All right, guys, this is my Sunday. I wanted to share some of that news with you. Actually, let's leave you with, because somebody was talking about, I got to leave you with something from my Lord and Savior. Well, this should be all graffiti from now on. All graffiti, especially political graffiti, should be Bible quotes. I love this. Look at this. Do not mistreat or oppress a foreigner. Exodus 22, whatever. So if you're a tagger, if you're a graph artist, you know, put some biblical stuff in there. But let me leave you with one of my favorites. One of my favorites. Where is it? 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 Where it be? I don't know where it be. It's somewhere. Could you tell me where it be? Where the did it go? I need that Jesus quote. Here it is. Because today is the day of our Lord and Savior, even though I think when Jesus celebrated Sundays, it was on a Saturday. You know. But I want to leave you with this, because I think it was Kathleen was saying, you should read Matthew. And I do. Every day. I love reading Jesus' words. He was the most radical hippie who didn't carry cash, didn't believe in charging people copays, you know, was like a homeless, vagrant, hobo, traveling, healing people, loving your neighbor, loving your enemy, just loving people. And he didn't say, oh, I can't love you because your skin color, or I can't love you because your political affiliation. He didn't do any of that. He didn't. He just loved. And in fact, he said, you should love the Lord your God with all your heart. And then he said, this is the second greatest commandment. You shall unselfishly love your neighbor as yourself. No asterisk. Doesn't say love them as long as they work hard enough. Doesn't say love them as long as they came here legally. Doesn't say love them as long as they got health insurance. Don't say that. Well, that's Jesus telling you. That ain't my words. I wish I could say something that great. I couldn't. So, yes, correct, Michelle. So I'll leave you with this. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. Join me tomorrow when we conquer the news again and we satire it. We make fun of it because it's a joke right now, man. Oh, these people couldn't, you know, make sense with a couple of pennies, but... And for all the people who, you know, say, well, can you love your neighbor? I do. That's why I'm fighting for you to have free healthcare, free education, never starve, make sure you have a home. That's me loving you. I'm fighting to make this world a place where the government isn't appealing to a court so kids starve, so Americans starve. I'm fighting against this regime sending a political police force to abduct parents from children, children from parents. I'm fighting against that, in your benefit too, trust me. You know, when our communities feel safer, it's when they have a good home, good food, good education, good health care. That's when you feel safest, okay? Remember that. Jesus didn't ask for a birth certificate when he broke bread. That's true. That's true. I'm so tired of these people saying, Dems, Dems. We understand. You heard your Lord and Savior Donald Trump, Epstein's best friend. the guy you worship, say that to you. But Donald Trump just appealed to a court to not fund SNAP or to not use the money for SNAP. Donald Trump is appealing to a court to say, I don't want to pay them. I don't want to use that money so people can eat. Even if you read badly, like George Carlin said, you could understand that. Because then you can't read. All right, guys. We have enough food for everyone. Millions of pounds are thrown out each month, 100%. You go to any store, go to the dumpsters if they're not locked, and see how much food is just thrown away. Meanwhile, 1 in 5 kids before this shutdown, longest shutdown in the history, before this shutdown, 1 in 5 kids were starving in America. That's not a great nation. And I'll support anyone who says, we're going to feed all the kids. We're going to make sure all the kids are fed. That's my agenda. My agenda is people shouldn't have to work 3 jobs so their kids can eat. Kids shouldn't have to worry about their parents working so they can eat. No kid should go hungry. And remember, when they fearmonger about New York, about that 2% tax on millionaires that Mamdani wants to implement, here in Massachusetts, a few years ago, we already did it. And they don't talk about that. They don't talk about the huge success in Massachusetts with a 4% millionaires tax. We did a 4% wealth tax, double what they did in New York. No millionaires left. I wish they would have, but they didn't. The billionaires didn't leave. Our millionaire population grew, and no kid at school goes hungry. Because you know how hard it is to be a kid at school that's starving? You can't focus. You can't get a good education. And there is more. If you want to read about it, I included a link down below. I just include it every time now because these people need to get educated. Because the lamestream media, Polio Rogan, Ben Shapiro, Tim Pool, they're not going to tell you about that the wealth tax worked for the benefit of everyone, not just a few people that some people bootleg. So hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you tomorrow. Much love, and thank you guys for the super chats. Again, I have no sponsors. I make no money here, so it's your support. It's grassroots. It's through your support that this show continues on. And the more and more, that's the other thing, in the community tab, I would love to start multi-streaming here and on Twitch, the home of Hassan Parker, if you're an RM Brown fan. And I would love to do the yearly subscription for the multi-stream on Streamlabs, but it's $189. And in this kind of economy, in this Epstein economy, I can't afford that. So I'm trying to do a fundraiser. I put it in the community tab here on the channel. So if you can support, if you can't, don't sweat it. I get it. But if you can support, please do. Bro called out Hassan. I love Hassan Parker. Hassan Parker, the king of all leftist media. He's I really appreciate him. And my favorite episodes of his are when him and Stavi get together and mix it up. Hassan is amazing. He's doing the good fight too. So, support the people that are supporting you, not these oligarchs. All right, guys, have a great night. Be kind to one another. Love your neighbor unselfishly.